Hi, this is our second video of F4. This is going to cover problems 7 through 20. And what we want to do over here on number 9 is we want to find the center and the radius. And we also want to put the equation that we come up with in standard form. Now, if you notice, the center is somewhere out here in the first quarter, but they won't give me a location of it. Now, standard form, remember, was x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals the radius squared. So I don't know the h and k. If I had those and the radius, I would be done. I would just have to put those numbers in those locations. So the question is, what is the center and what is the radius? Well, you have the two endpoints of the diameter of the circle. So if you have the diameter here, you got these 2 points on the end, where would the center be? It's the midpoint. It's the middle point. So that's why you had to find midpoint back in F1. So the midpoint is the center. So the center is, remember how to find the midpoint? It's add them up, divide by 2. It's the middle number. So 1 plus 4 is 5. So it's 5 over 2. And then 2 plus 2 is 4, divided by 2 is back to 2 again. So it's 5 halves, comma 2. And that's the center. So far I have x minus 5 halves squared plus y minus 2 squared equals the radius squared. Now, to find the radius, I can do this a couple of ways. I could find the distance between the center, now that I know it, to one of these points here, which is not the end of the world. You can do that. The problem is that 5 halves, it scares some people. And so what you could do to get around that, if you don't want to do that, is find the length of the diameter. And you're like, well, that's not the diameter here. Yeah, I know, but once you find the diameter, how far is it from 1, 2 to 4, 2? Then you can take half of it. So how far is it from 1, 2 to 4, 2? Well, 1, 2 to 4, 2. Well, it's the horizontal line, so just count from 1 to 4. So it's going to be 3 units. So the diameter is 30 units. And take half of that diameter, it's 3 halves, 1.5. So you can either say the radius is equal to 1.5 or the radius is 3 halves. It kind of depends on how you want to write it. It depends on if you're a decimal person or a fractional person. It doesn't. It's which one of you want. So the radius has to be squared. So I can square 1.5 and get 2.25, or I can square 3 halves and get 9/4. And so this number could either be 9/4 there or 2.25 there. And they are the same number. 9/4 is 2.25. So which one do I want? Which one do you want to put down? So I kind of like fractions myself more than decimals, so I'll write 9/4. So it kind of depends on what you want. So now on the this next couple of problems here, this is 14 through 18 here. Find the standard and the general form of the equation of a circle. So this is pretty simple here because they give you the center and they give you the radius. So the standard form is the x minus h squared plus y minus k squared plus r squared. So the standard form will be easy. So it's just a matter of popping them into the formula. So it's going to be x minus 1 squared plus y minus 0 squared equals 3 squared, which is 9. Now, notice the y take away 0 squared. Could you write it as just y squared? And the answer is yes. Do I need to? Not really. I mean, you can if you wanted to. If you looked in the back of the book of this textbook, it would be more than likely they'll have it that way in standard form. But it's not really mandatory. Okay? Now, the general form is, like I said on the previous video, is to just go ahead and multiply everything out. So x minus 1 squared is going to be x squared minus 2x plus 1 plus y squared equals 9. So x minus 1 squared is these first 3 terms. And then it's just a matter of rearranging the terms. So it's x squared plus y squared minus 2x minus 8 equals 0. You got minus 8? Yep. Because if you subtract 9 over here, because I already want to set these equal to 0 in general form, and then 1 take away 9 is a minus 8. So there's two answers here. The standard form, which is this one, and the general form, which is that one. So these are pretty simple, and it's just a matter of just, well, you're like, well, it is simple if you know the formula, right? Yeah, you know, if you got, but you got to know the formula. That's a given. If you don't know the formula, yeah, I agree. It's not going to be so easy. So hopefully at this point you can memorize that formula though. So number 18, okay, now is going to be x minus h, so it's negative 5 squared, plus y minus k, which is a negative 2 squared, equals 49. So it's going to be x plus 5 squared plus y plus 2 squared equals 49. Now notice, now it's x plus 5 because there's x take away h, and h, remember, was negative 5. So two negatives make a positive 5. Now I like to go kind of back and reverse this just to make sure I get this right. What makes this 0? Negative 5. That's the number. What makes y plus 2 0? Negative 2. And that's my number. So it's just, for me, it just makes me feel better that I've got the signs right. So, and the reason it's 49 is because you got to square the radius. So 7 squared is 49. Now that's standard form. Now general form, you just have to multiply this out. So it's x squared plus 10x plus 25. If you FOIL x plus 5 squared out. And y plus 2 squared, FOIL that one out, is y squared plus 4y plus 4 equals 49. So it's a matter of rearranging terms, set it equal to 0. So it's x squared plus y squared plus 10x plus 4y. Notice what I'm doing. X squared before y squared, x before y. So x squared plus y squared, 10x plus 4y, and then it's just a matter of collecting all of the constants. So 25 plus 4 is 29. And then subtract 49 from 29, that's 20. So it's minus 20 equals 0. So, and I wouldn't expect you to do this all in your head. I'm just doing a little bit of work in my head here. Though it's 25 plus 4 is 29, and so you might have a couple of extra steps in between these two terms, and that's okay. So, but anyway, the two answers here are this one. This one's the standard form, and this one is the general form. So that concludes the second video of this series of F4. We have 2 more to go, and the next one's going to cover from 21 through 42 in the textbook. So.